In terms of the other two late arrivals, Reguilon, I know what you guys are going to say. It's just the body. You guys are not Sergio fans, right?
No, I had forgotten that he was still playing football. So.
Look, they were backed into a corner. The choice was Reguilon, Cucurella or Marcos Alonso.
I was available as well. I could play left back if
they didn't have a good choice. So
I don't know about you're defending. You're more of an attacking player, Jules.
I know,
that was all they had. So you can't really blame them for that. Because
and so we were just deciding Reguilon can't go back to being the player he was 2-3 years ago.
You can. But it's hard if you're a United fan to see the number 3.
Okay. Also, if you're a left back
choice.
searching for form and confidence, that is the wrong team to do it in. That defence. If you're a player that needs a bit of confidence building up, don't go to Man United's back four.
I'll give you that one. That's without question. Yeah. Amrabat, we're more bullish on, as long as, look, I said this on the show, as long as you don't expect World Cup Amrabat to show up. But
why not?
Because that was distilled in 4 or 5 games. He doesn't play at that level week in, week out. But what he does give you is he's a very smart player. He's a great leader. He's a fighter. And he's got a ton of personality in the middle of the park. But he's not the second coming of Brian Robson and Roy Keane rolled into one. The way some people were presenting him and the way he looked at times in Doha. Yeah?
Yeah.
So he still has
he's a better team. I even expect him to raise his level too. So
all the qualities you mentioned then are exactly what United need. They need that kind of personality, that leadership, that aggression. So that's what he brings, and that makes them better before he's even kicked a ball.
So you play him and Casemiro together?
Well, I don't think that's what he wants to do, and I think if you do that, you take a step back because then you turn into even more of a counter-attacking team. I mean, presumably Eriksen and Mount, who are passers, or are better passers than Amrabat, presumably they're part of Ten Hag's vision. So I assume he has one, right? So I see him more as somebody who gives Casemiro a break in certain games, can come on and affect games off the bench when you need him. And then in certain games, when you do want to go with 2 defensive midfielders, and look, Amrabat's not just a defensive midfielder, but when you want to go for the more solid setup, you can play both of them, away from home against certain teams, whatever. I don't have a problem with United playing on the counter some of the time. I just don't want to get this to be a habit where we see this big pile of turds that we saw because this is not what Ten Hag. I go back to this. This is not what Ten Hag did at Ajax. This is not what got him the United job. They still have to be moving in that direction of the football he wants to play. And frankly, with Antony in there, with some of these choices, they're still really, really, we were talking about this earlier, Mark. They're far away from...
It's going to take a long time because since he arrived at the club, I think 18 and 19 players have left. A lot of players that have gone on to do absolutely nothing since. Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata, Cavani, Pogba even. So he's had to do a massive clear out. He's brought in 10, right? So it's going to take a lot of time. But obviously, they need a bit of patience. And it doesn't help Ten Hag's cause that part of that patience revolves around people like Antony, who he really pushed the boat out to sign. So some of his signings haven't been great. But you have to accept that the absolute dross that he inherited, and there's still quite a bit of dross there. Donny van der Beek, who else are they trying to get rid of this week?
Eric Bailly.
Eric Bailly. I mean, these players that have got Harry Maguire, that have got no future at Man United. It's going to take a lot of time to get rid of them, but you can't have all the time in the world.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.